We are going to be taking a look at ahtitle.com. I believe that's the name of what we're looking at here. Let's make sure. There we go. Yeah, ahtitle.com. And we're going to be going through the basics of how to use this website. We want to be able to be sure that you know how to make changes to the inside pages, slideshows, these little special boxes that we have going on the website, and forms, a few other things. So to start off, you log in at ahtitle.com/wp-admin. And it will take you to this page here, and you will have a username and you will have a password. You log in, and then you see that we have this large area here that is serving no particular purpose. But over on the left side, then we have things that are very important. We have everything that you need to be able to make changes to your website. We're going to go through these one by one, make sure you have the basic idea for all of them. If you have further questions, then you can always come to us and we will advise you and point you in the right direction. Up here at the top, we have updates. Everything is updated right now. This is for plugins or themes. We come in twice a month and we make sure that those things are updated, so you don't really ever need to worry about them. You could click update if you want to, but it's not essential because we are going to come in and do it soon. And every once in a while, when you try to update, then it does cause a problem, and it is easier if we do that so then we can know for sure what that problem is and hopefully resolve it before anybody ever sees it. We have post over here, and I don't think that we're using post on this website in any way. Nope, we're going to throw that in the trash. It was just a sample post that came along with this, so we're not going to use that right now. We have media, and under media you can see every piece of media that you have. That's documents, photos, anything else that you would ever upload on the site, then it shows up here. And you can come here and see these things, and you can add them via this media library. That's not the way we would normally do it. Normally you do it within a page or within a plugin or something of that nature, and it still shows up here, but this isn't the way you would normally access it. But you can come here and see this if you want to. We have forms, and on this website we have multiple forms. Let's see, we have 5 forms on the website right now. We're going to go through the basics of how these work, and then there are enough details that we're not going to cover it all, but it should be enough to be able to help you get started and make some changes. And again, you can always come to us and we will give you advice on how to fix any problems you have or do something new that isn't on here right now. So we have name, email, phone, property information, buy or borrow information here. Each one of these things here are the start of a new page. And so if we go to the website, I believe it's on this page here, this is the form that we have. And we split this up into multiple pages so it doesn't feel so very overwhelming for those filling out this form on the website. Otherwise it would stretch way down the page and it would feel like it was going to take forever. We want it to feel like it's an easy process. So you enter in that information here, and after you've entered in your basic information, then you get to go on to the next page. And it loads it up here, and then you can keep on going just like this until you finish the whole thing. To be able to make these separations, then we have these page fields like this, and so you can drag them over here and create divisions as you please. We're not going to keep that one there right now. If you need other fields inside here and you say, you know what, we've got name, email, and phone, but we want to do an address too, then you can take it from over here. It's under advanced fields. You drag it on over and it will show up there. If you want it to be that you only have some parts of this address show up, then you got these little toggles that will make it so that you can choose which parts show up. We really just want it to be United States address, and we can even have the default state being Missouri, since I imagine that's what you all probably deal with. And you can make it required down here if you want to. A few other details you can change over in this part. You can put in a placeholder. You can make it so that this only shows up if certain other options are chosen via conditional logic. But for the most part, you just drag those over there, make a couple little changes that you want to make, and then you can move on. When you have gotten everything over here that you want, any of these fields, you've moved them over here, you have them set up with the right information, maybe you have a drop-down menu as well. You can enter in your choices here for people to select from when they click on the menu. All those things. When you're done all the way, then you click Update. Now you might notice that it says Preview up here. And the natural thought of clicking Preview is that it would give you a preview. And in spite of that language, it's not really a preview. The only way in which this functions is after you've clicked Update, you can then click Preview and see what it has done. But that won't be very valuable to you because whatever changes you have made have become live by that time. It's a shortcoming of the plugin, but Gravity Forms is still the very best that you can use for these purposes. So, you make your changes, and then you can insert them on pages or as a widget, and we'll show you how to do that here in a bit. Right now, though, we do want to look at form settings. Most of these settings are not things you need to change on a regular basis. We do want to always have anti-spam honeypot enabled. You have the form title here, form description if you want to add that. If you don't want it to say submit at the end, if you'd rather say let's go or go team or whatever you want, you can change it out here. And then you can click Update and then it will become live. We have confirmations that show up after you've completed the form. And this is on the page right then and there. This is what will show up. And right now it's just a generic thank you for contacting us type message, but you can type in whatever you want. You can add in photos, you can format this, whatever you want to do. You can redirect them to a different page within your website. You can redirect them to a different page outside of your website. Whenever you're satisfied, then you click Save Confirmation and you're good to go. Notifications, on the other hand, are emails that are sent out. And so we have it here where we have an admin notification, and it will have the field go out. It'll have all the fields go out. So everything shows up in an email when something is filled out on this page. We also have this here, and it's the same thing. Not terribly sure why this is set up, so it must have been done with someone else besides me, because I don't believe I set that one up. So hopefully there's some purpose. If not, we can get that deleted. But you can make it so that then this is routed to different people, depending on what has been filled out. You can make it so that this goes to the person who filled out the form, and so we can select a field, and whatever they said is their email, then they can get a copy of this. You can make it go that way. And if you ever have any questions about any of that, though, let us know. There are a lot more interesting things you can do down here depending on exactly the way you set up these fields. We can even make it so that it sends out a PDF automatically of all this information. Whatever it is that works well for you all, let us know, and we'll help you work through that. If you ever need to create a new form, you come out over here, and you click New Form, type it in, put those fields in there just as you had before. We have entries here, so if people have submitted anything for these forms, then it shows up on this page here. Now, it will go to your email, but it will also be saved here, and that means you should never miss a form that has been filled out. Even if for some reason it gets blocked from your email, even if there's some problem on our end and we're not getting it to you properly, no matter what, it will always be here. We have a few other settings, nothing that you need to worry about. Import, export, add-ons, system status, and help. Nothing there really that you need to be concerned with. We do have pages though. And pages, as the name would imply, controls the pages for the website. And we have 25 pages. Looks like 25 pages on the website. So quite a few pages on the website here. But it controls everything except for the home page. All the other pages on this site come through here. When you want to go in and make changes to a page, we seem to have a duplicate here. I'm not too sure why. Yeah, it looks like this is the one that we need to be getting rid of right here. We need to make changes on these sites. Then you can come in here and you have a post editor here. Up here we have a title. You can change that out to whatever you want it to be. You'll notice right now that that shows up the title up here automatically. But if you need to change it to something else, you can do that. Anytime you want to see changes you've made, you just click Preview Changes and they show up for you, but they are not live on the website. But we have a new title there now. We have this form down here, the gravity form that we were looking at earlier, and that comes via this shortcode. Now you can memorize how to write in this shortcode, but you don't have to. What you can do instead is click Add Form, select whatever form it is you want, and normally you're not going to want the form title and the form description. You click Insert, and then there they are. And now if we click Preview again, we're going to have two forms on the page, which is not something we would ordinarily want, but it's something we could do if we wanted to. Now, up here, This functions just like a normal word processor. And this word processor can do things that you can do with Microsoft Word or anything else of that sort. Bold, italicize, make it into a bullet pointed list. You can change the color to something fancy. We can make it so that this whole thing links to somewhere else, like google.com. You can also make it so that it links to pages that are inside your website. And then you can even search through them here so you don't have to memorize the URL for them or anything. And now that is linked up properly. So we're doing this, like we said before, you can preview any time, and then there that is, right up there at the top. We can see, does that match what we want? Well, it looks good, but right now we think we need an image. So you click Add Media. You look through your images, or you can upload a new one right here. Might look a little different if you're not using a Mac, but the same basic idea. Once you have the image that you want, you can insert it into the page. We have some options down here. You can make it centered or left aligned or right aligned. You can make it so that it links somewhere, and you can choose what size you want. So we're going to insert this into the page. We have it centered right now. We test it out. We decide, that looks good, but we want to make that be over to the left. Well, you can do it left where the text wraps around it. Might not work the best in this case. And so then what we want in this case is just to have no alignment at all and make it just be over there on the left side. If you click this little edit button, then you can make changes to this specific image, not the image on the website as a whole, just this one instance of the image. And so if instead of David Appleby we want it to say really cool guy, then we can put that in there. We can also decide we want a custom size. You don't have to know what pixels are, what sizes different things are. You can just try it out until it matches what you want. And then we look at this up here and we say, yeah, that is a really cool guy, and we're going to go with that. If you click update, it becomes live. We don't want this to become live though, right? So on this particular page here, we're going to be done. We're going to look, let's see, how about this orders page right here? We're going to edit this page. You can always edit a page up at the top here. There's a toolbar at the top. And this one gets just a little bit more complicated than what we are normally doing on these websites. We don't need to worry about those revisions there. We have boxes that we're using on this website, and they work without you having to do all that much work, except for knowing the right way to be able to insert them in the first place. And they need to be able to work so that then they can change out how many are in a row automatically like this, so they can fit on the different screen sizes. This is the way that it works. We have box button first, and probably the best way to do this is just to copy and paste from one of the pages that is already working and make sure that it keeps on working. So we have box button first is what we have here, and then we have box button for any in the middle, and then we have box button last. Make sense? The parameters that you can use inside here are URL, and that lets it know where you want it to be linking to. You can change out the background. If you want it to be a different image than what it is right now, you can change out the background right here. And then what you put inside here, between these, is the title orders or whatever other title you want it to be. And then you do slash whatever you started off with. So in this case, slash box dash button dash first. It's not the most user-friendly on this side for how it appears, but it's really not that bad once you start using it. You can just copy and paste. So let's say we wanted a fifth one in here. You can just copy that, paste it in, and we can say, all right, this one, we want it to say another box. And we preview it, and then we see it there, and we have another box. And it matches because these all have the same paper thing. But if you wanted there to be a different background, you could come in here, and let's see, what do we want as a background? It really doesn't matter. Well, you can even choose an image. It doesn't even have to be one of these little graphics like we've been using before. You just copy this URL here, and then you paste it. Where's our another box? It's this one. Then you paste it here. There we go. And then we can preview it. And then we have that key as a background on there instead. So you put whatever you want in the background on that. And it'll work okay. Won't necessarily look perfect, but it'll work okay. When you want this to be live, you click update, and then that becomes live. But we don't want that, so we're going to leave. If you ever want to get rid of a page entirely, then you can send it to the trash. You might remember a little bit ago we had a duplicate of 1031 exchange orders, and that went over to the trash over here. So it's not gone forever. If we made a mistake and didn't mean to have it go there, then it's still here waiting for us. In this case, we know that we really are done with it though. And so we're going to click delete permanently, and then it will be gone forever, and it's pretty much gone forever. It's just not here. So if you ever need to do that, you can go there and do that as well. You can also make it so that pages are not published. Right now these are all published. You can change any of them so that then they have a different status, like draft or pending review, although I don't think you'll probably ever use pending review. If you need to add a new page, you click add new, and you enter the title, the content, and then you might notice that down here we have these bottom of the page options. Let's see, where do those show up on here? Down here, we have a page like that right here. So let's go to edit page, make sure you know how to use that as well. This is our main page area here, just like before, and everything is normal on that with the boxes like we already looked at. But then down here we have another post editor, and it's for the bottom of the page, as the name would imply. And we can view the page here. We can see that it has a different color scheme going on. And because of the different page layout elements that needed to be there, we couldn't just insert it right beneath the transaction types up here. So we needed a different section for that. You enter everything in here just like you would any other place. You don't even have to be limited to what is in there right now with the boxes, or there's another one somewhere that has, maybe it's under contact here, I think it is, that has a form there within it. You can put whatever you want in there. Whatever you want, put it in there, add media. You can preview it any time, and then you can find out if it's looking the way you want it to look. I'm going to leave this though. We don't want to save those changes. Let's see. That should be most everything for pages for now. We have comments here, but we're not using comments on the website. I'm not sure if we're using any galleries on this site. Oh, affiliations we are, huh? Let's look at this again to confirm. That does look like we're using it. And that's on the homebuyer, realtors, and lenders pages. Oh, let's see. No? I don't see it there. Oh, there we go. I remember those now. That's right. Okay, so if you ever need to make changes to the affiliations that you have, delete something, update a logo, anything of that nature, then you simply come into galleries here, and then you can click add media, and you can insert whatever else you need to insert, and it should just work as it is just fine. And you can make changes to the thumb height or the row height or anything like that, but maybe it'll look good, maybe it won't. You'll just have to test it out to find out. Within the pages themselves, then, wrong button, no wonder that wasn't working. Then you can see that this shows up here, and you can get the short code from right here and copy that. But what you can also do is just click up here on Add Foo Gallery, and then insert it, and it goes in there just fine, and it's a very simple process. If you ever need to add a new gallery, you can do that. There are a lot of options, a lot of good ways you can use galleries on this website, but we won't go through all the details right now. You have different templates, make adjustments to these things, and then just try them out as you go and see what looks best to you. Shouldn't need to worry about anything else under Foo Gallery. We have Genesis here. That's an important part of our website, but nothing that you need to be making changes to. And then under Appearance, we don't need to be worrying about most of the things here, but there are two areas we do need to be concerned with, the widgets and the menus. The widgets control the home page and the header and the footer, and I believe that's all on this website. And yep, that's all on this website. So we have for the header here, we have the logo and we have the menu, and that's what goes up here at the top, those two things. We have a before header section right here, and it has the number and email address that appear at the top of the website. These function just like it. This functions just like the post or the pages we were looking at there a moment ago. You can add whatever you want in there. Might look good, might look bad, but you can make whatever changes you want in that place. We have Revolution Slider. This is not where you make actual changes to Revolution Slider. We will look at that in a moment, but it is where we tell it to show up on the home page. And so on the home page we have that right there. Next we're going to have our boxes, and that's under Home-Bottom. You control these just like a page, just like a post. Make whatever changes you need to within this, and then they show up here on the home page. Don't have anything in subfooter left or right. In the footer, then we have this logo along with text and contact information. You can change out the logo. You can't see it because it's white on a white background right now, but it's there, I promise. And then you can change out any text you need to here, any contact information. Sometimes that's going to work just fine. Other times it's not going to look quite right once you make those changes, but for the most part it should take care of itself even if you do make changes, just as long as they are fitting with the same basic concept we have right now. Then we have the phone, fax, and email here at the bottom. You can make any changes to them that you need to make right here. And then that's the end of what we have here within widgets right now. If you ever need to add a new widget, you can do that by clicking any of these things over here, dragging them over, and putting them on there. Choose your image in this case, link, text, whatever you want it to be. And sometimes they're going to fit in really naturally with what we've built, and other times they're not going to fit in so naturally. So you'll have to experiment if you're doing that on your own. If you want advice on how to accomplish something, come to us and we will try to help you out with that. We also have under Appearance, Menus. And the menus control the menus. And we only have one menu on this site right now. It shows up at the top, just at the top on this website. So we have what's on here right now. You can change out the words that are there. And so it says home. It doesn't actually need to be caps. It shows up on caps automatically. And we have our story, orders, fees, resources, contact. But if we wanted to add more things to this menu, we could do so. Add to the menu, and then we click save, and then it would show up there. It's really as simple as that. You can do a submenu by dragging it over, and it will show up underneath that. And then you hover, and then it will appear as a submenu item. You can add things besides pages as well, but nothing else is being used on this website, I don't believe. You could link to something custom and then add that to the menu, and that could be useful to you at some time. We have plugins, and there really isn't a reason to be looking at plugins too much. If there's new functionality you want for the website, you can go and look for your own plugin and try it out. But for the most part, if you want new functionality for the website, you'll be best off coming to us and we'll help you out with that process. We have users here. If you need it to be that other people can access the website besides you all, then you can come in here and click Add New. Give them a username, and you have to give them an email. It doesn't have to be their real email, but you need to give them some kind of email. You can put in their name, but you don't have to. All that really matters is the username up here, and then we have a password, and it generates a strong password automatically. It would be wonderful if you would use the password that shows up here, but if you feel like that's going to be too hard to remember, too hard to keep track of, then you can do something else. What we don't want is a very weak password. You have to click this little button down here to confirm the use of it, and we don't really ever want that to happen because that makes your website vulnerable. And so you could be hacked. It could be that your password is discovered by someone else, and then not only is that hacked, but it might be that some other personal property of yours is hacked as well. Your email, your Facebook, something of that nature if it uses the same password. So you really want to use a strong password. So keep on going until you can get at least a medium. If you can get a strong, that's even better. Down here we have several options of the role that a person can play. Most of the time, administrator is what you're going to want to do. If you want them to just be able to make changes to pages and post, then you can do it as an editor, but most of the time you're going to want to make them an administrator. The other ones won't matter too much for what you're doing here. We have tools over here, and these tools shouldn't matter for what you're doing. Under settings, I don't think there's too much of anything that you would ever need to be working on there. You can always explore it and try. SEO has some things you might want to explore. We're not going to cover that here in this training video, but it does allow you to be able to examine pages to see to what extent they are SEO friendly. We have slider revolution here, and it is important to your website. You have two sliders on the website, on the home page and on contact, I believe is where it is, right? Yeah. So let's look at the home page first. click this little pencil thing, and it takes you over here. Oh, I guess that's all we have on here is just the single background. Well, you could make it so that then we have this, instead of just saying, how may we help you, you could make a copy of this and have it be that it changes over to other questions, other ideas, other background images. Since we only have this one here, then we're just going to cover first how to change out the image. So if you decide that that's not the image you want for Springfield anymore, and you decide you want to switch over to being... I'm not too sure what city that is right off, actually. Nope, I just don't know. So, wherever that is, then if you want to switch over to being from that city, then you can make that change. And then at any time you could preview it and make sure it's looking as you want it to look, and it will just function just fine. You can make changes to the text by double-clicking it, and then you can change these words out to whatever you want, and they will change over to that. And you can move this around, put it in a different place. This is a responsive slider, and that means that then for each screen size up here, then you make changes to each one of them to make sure it looks right at that size. So right now we're at desktop size, but then we get a little bit smaller. You see these blue lines that move in? That's the width you have to work in to make sure you fit everything within those lines. And then we have tablet, and then we have mobile. And right now everything's already set up to be able to change where you want it to be. But see, if we move this, it doesn't impact where it is here. Well, it happens to look like it does, but it doesn't. There we go. See, this one's way up top, this one's way down low. They don't go together. You can make whatever change you want. You can even change the font size, and so we can make it so that then we have a really big font size here on one level, and then it keeps it the same over here on this level. When you want it to be live, then you click Save, and it becomes live. And there are tons of other options up here, and we're not going to cover them all, but you can experiment with those, see what you can do, and hopefully you'll be able to make it do as you please. If you can't, then ask us for help, and we will be happy to help you out. We are going to look, though, also at the slideshow on the Contact Us page. I believe this is only a slideshow of images, nothing else. It's just an image on each one. So if you decide that you don't want one of these anymore, you hover over it, you click delete, it's gone. You can also click on it and drag it and move it wherever you want it to be so that it's in whatever order you please. If you want to add more, you can add a single blank slide. What you might be better off doing so that it matches what's being done on the others is duplicating a current slide. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now, and we'll delete it here in a moment. And then you can go to that slide, and then you can leave everything else the same, and then make the only change be that you have a new image. You choose whatever you want as your background. That obviously wouldn't look good, and we wouldn't do that. But we could do that if we needed to. What you can also do, though, if you decide that you want to add several images at once, is add bulk slides. Then you come in here, and you can choose, while holding down Shift if you're on a it works either way. Shift either way. Shift on if you're on Windows or if you're on Mac. And then you click Insert, and if you click Insert, then it will add all of them at once. And when you make those changes, then they will show up on this contact page, and that will be the end of what you have to do with that. We have WP Google Map down here, and I'm thinking that you have this on here, right? Maybe this isn't even on the website. No, I guess we're not even using this right now. So we won't go into that in more detail than to say it's there. And so if you ever want to insert a map, then you can come down here to Manage Maps, and you can copy that, and you can insert it within a post or a page, and it will show up there as you want it to. We have Pods Admin down here. Nothing that you will need to be worrying about with that. We are... no, we're not even using that. No, we are using this website, but in a different way than usual. Nothing that you need to worry about at all then. So you can leave that alone and it will work just fine. Should be everything you need to be able to use this website. And if you do have questions, then contact David or Becca or your AdSmith rep, whoever it is in your life that you're supposed to be contacting, then you contact them, and in any way we can, we will help you out.